My name is Jacque Fresco. I work with Roxanne Meadows, my associate. I am director of the Venus Project. The Venus Project emphasizes the redesign of a culture. And you're listening to Living on Purpose, Radio Ear Network.
Lynn Thompson here of Living on Purpose in the home of Jacque Fresco and Roxanne Meadows in Venus, Florida. And we've just found our way out here from Sarasota today on April 13th, 2008. Hi, Jacque. It's so nice to meet you.
How are you?
I'm
nice
great.
Meeting you.
Yeah. So I became aware of you through Dr. Tomorrow from Vancouver, and you were just saying that the last time you saw him was about 8 years ago?
8 years ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
How did you first meet him?
Well, I think I met him at a Futures meeting, and I heard some recordings, and I was very interested, and I invited him out. He came out, and he walked around. He appeared to be interested in what we were doing.
I'm sure he was.
I really don't know very much more about him, except that he points out new electronic devices and what they can do. He tries to make people aware of what's coming.
Your website, which is thevenusproject.com. So, Roxanne Meadows, how did you and Jacque Fresco first meet over 30 years ago?
I was on a cruise ship doing portraits, bad portraits, for a living, traveling around, seeing many beautiful places. And somebody approached me and talked to me about Jacque's ideas, talked to me about a lot of his inventions, and he had tape recordings of lectures that Jacque did. Jacque used to lecture, this is when he was in Miami, he used to lecture at universities around the world, in Miami, and at his home 3 days a week. I went and listened to the tapes in this person's room on the cruise ship, and they were more interesting than anything that I'd ever heard. It made more sense to me than anything I'd ever heard. So I got off the cruise ship and went to his lectures and started taking his drafting lessons, and I really learned how to draw. I went through 4 years of art school and didn't know what a vanishing point was. And Jacque taught me the laws behind art. He has an extremely interesting way of teaching art, and it can be taught to anyone. So I went through his courses, and I learned how to draw on his design, so it was very interesting. And then he taught me how to do model making, and I started reading his book, going to his lectures, and working with him. And we were together for about 33 years now.
Wow, that's amazing. So you knew him when he was, 59 then?
About 60, I think we met, yeah.
Yeah,
59,
about 60.
yes.
Do you mind me asking how old you are?
59.
You were 59 now?
I am 59.
And you met when he was 59?
Right.
I love that.
I'm 59.
Oh, wow.
Now he's 92.
Yeah. Huh.
But luckily for me, he's still going very strong.
Wow, what an amazing partnership. Very impressive.
In the past, Jacque used to design hundreds of ideas and patents and inventions, but he found that they would use his planes to go faster and cheaper and quicker to bomb and destructive reasons. And he designed hip prosthesis and a lot of medical devices, but only the wealthy could use them. And he would help kids and people who were drug addicts and alcoholics, but he found that for every one he saved, the system produced 500 more. So he really began to think about how to redesign the system, which is for the benefit of all people and the environment. What this system is really the intelligent management of Earth's resources for everyone's advantage and for the environment.
Not for a few minority who want to take
right.
advantage of the whole thing.
There'd be no subservience, nobody taking advantage of anybody else, because you have access to everything and anything.
So how many people have come here to visit the project, the Venus Project?
We have people coming from all over the world all the time, every week,
wow.
during the weekdays, to visit with us and learn more about the Venus Project in this direction.
Has anyone gone further with it, taken it back into their communities to try to use the model?
Well, there's a lot of people that go back and try and spread these ideas in this direction and try and get Jacque to speak at different conferences and try and do things like you're doing, put them on the air and put them on TV. And he is well known all over the world and is written up all over, but recently his designs are not implemented yet. But it's really the film that we think is the most important, because it's the ideas and the direction for a sustainable and sane future that we feel is more important to get out there. And the film would introduce these people to this direction and the ideas in an entertaining way. And then hopefully we'll get a group of people who may want to do something and build the first city.
Mm-hmm. That would be amazing. I mean, well, you've started the first small project community here anyway. I mean, it's remarkable.
More of a research center.
Yeah.
It's really old, pristine Florida. It's a well-kept secret in the middle of the state. Most people go to the coast, but it's quite beautiful. We'll go this way. And we dug all the waterways, and then the alligators came, and the otters, and we have deer and fox, and there's even bears. A bear pack in the area of Venus.
Wow.
I've only seen one bear in 30 years, though. It's quite exciting.
Well, I saw my first alligator yesterday in Jacque Park.
Here. They don't bother you. Don't go down and dangle your feet off the edge of the water, though. We found a beautiful place in southern Ecuador, in Loja, in Vilcabamba, in the mountains in the Andes. And we both really loved it as we were visiting a friend there that bought a lot of land. And we were buying some from him. Jacque may have an opportunity to do a museum of the future there.
Now, Future by Design, I see on this building.
Yes, that's the name of our nonprofit organization.
Okay.
But we're better known as the Venus Project. But this is the building that we named here where Jacque films his models.
This is 22 acres.
Well, we arranged it so you can't see another building when you're in any other building. There's woods and streams or ponds encircling each building. And so it's like you're isolated in each building. This is what we wanted to do to show the outskirts of the city that Jacque designed, what it would look like in a much smaller scale. And you can see that the bridge sticks over cantilever over the water. You don't see any structures underneath, but there are structures. There are several beams that go across the road, and they're embedded in 3-foot by 3-foot concrete. So you can hold up a herd of elephants on this bridge. Everything that Jacque builds is overbuilt, very strong. Mm-hmm. We don't have to worry about it. And the bridge that we're standing on, too, is concrete and steel. Yep. There's usually water under there, but Florida has had a drought for a couple of years. And then we have pathways through the woods and around the lakes. We ride bikes and walk. I think that's a pretty view.
What is the goal of the film that you're putting together? What is your vision for the possibilities with this?
We hope we can get the film out before things get worse in the society and maybe a lot more people lose their homes and lose their jobs and start to lose confidence in their government. But it will actually take something like that, I think, before people look for something else, look for other alternatives. But there really aren't any alternatives out there other than trying to fix things within this monetary system, which causes the problems in the first place. So we're hoping we can get this film out, which will really show how we get from here to there and what the possibilities of a positive future could be like. And then maybe at that time people will get together and say, let's try this, because all other social systems have failed, and this one too we feel is on its way out.
The guest house. I love the guest house.
Even our pump house is here.
Yes.
They're concrete and steel, and they are not going anywhere in a hurricane. So that just houses the well.
This may be the only 22 acres that stays in place for a hurricane. Everybody will want to live here then.
Well, people have said that this is the hurricane shelter of Venus. Kiddingly, but it really is.
Well, yeah.
It doesn't really have any other hurricane shelter.
This is just so beautiful here. We got to have a pic at the guest house.
But we don't want to disturb the photographer.
Do you show that on your internet?
Yeah, if we link in some of these audios with the visuals, that'll be good.
Oh my!
I love this.
Here we have working tables all over. That's all we ever do. Our guests work, we work.
And comes in low all around. It'll take 5 minutes. And